Okay, cold open. All right, you go. This is your turn. We ready?
Wait, okay. Mirror game?
Mirror game.
Mirror. Can you sing?
I can't sing. I've always wanted to sing.
Can you dance? Jazz, baby. Okay. I don't like being on the spot.
That's the whole point of the game.
I don't like being on the spot. Okay, ready?
Yes.
I went to the market and
you need to be closer to my face.
okay. I saw
Lee.
You saw him? I said, hi, pal. I forgot my nails.
Yes.
So Lee said, good day, ma'am.
I forgot my nails. And he said, good day, ma'am. Oh, hi, pal. I forgot my nails.
Give me a
You're just
fingernails.
bleeding openly, no nails on your fingers.
Give me a fingernails.
Give me your fingernails.
No.
Welcome to Genuinely Funny, episode 2.
Episode dos.
We were just talking about how hard it is to remember people's names, and this is something that I genuinely feel horrible about. I am terrible with people's names. I remember people's faces. I remember their character and how funny they are and fun and what they do, all sorts of things like that. I always second guess names. To the point, case in point, case of pointers, every time that I say one of our sons' names, I say all 3 of their names.
Okay, well that's different though, because that's just like
Overstimulation
that's just over
and parent brain.
Yeah, that's just like every parent has done that because you go through the list of your spouse and then your kids. Because like my parents did that with us.
Whoever you fuss at first.
My mom would go through all of her sisters, then Ryan, then me.
Is this a thing that you guys do if your parents like with multiple kids? I guess.
Yeah.
Yes. I feel like maybe it's an indicator of just how tired I am. If it's like,
You're
no,
just like,
I do it all the time.
One of you is not doing what you're supposed to, and I just gotta go down the list until I get to the one that it is.
Yes. It's so weird how it's almost like your mouth is disconnected from your brain, but also not, and it's like you will. Gosh, that's interesting. So like, just like we were saying before we started, or maybe we edited it in, but like. I will forget. We were talking about Toledo, and I was like, I don't know. I can't remember what state Toledo is in, and I'll in my brain go, oh, they live in Toledo, and I'll create a blank space for my brain to fill in the right answer.
Isn't it Oklahoma?
I think so.
Let's look it up.
We probably should look it up because I accepted it very easily that it was Oklahoma. Toledo, Oklahoma. Anyways, and I was like,
where is Toledo?
Do you guys like, I will like create a blank space for my brain to fill in the right answer and just hope that it works. I do that with lyrics a lot.
Psych, it's Ohio.
Toledo, Ohio. I knew that.
Ohio.
Is for lovers.
Hold on,
Hawthorne
there's
Heights.
multiple Toledos.
Well, that's probably true. Like multiple Greenvilles. But there's only one in my
There's
heart.
also a Toledo, Spain.
Yes, that's the one I was talking about. We were talking about the new Office show that's coming out. It's called The Paper, and it's about a struggling newspaper. But Oscar's in it. I'm so excited about it.
I know.
Hopefully it's good. And Domhnall Gleeson, who I really like, who is Brendan Gleeson's son. Brendan Gleeson's Mad Eye Moody. Here's some of my autism coming out. My IMDb.
He's Mad Eye Moody. And
My IMDb autism.
Domhnall played Charlie.
No, Bill Weasley.
Bill Weasley.
And General Hux in Star Wars, and he's funny, and he was in About Time, which made me cry a lot.
Yeah.
So he's a good actor. I like him. Once again, off the rails. Welcome back to Genuinely Funny. This is our second episode. We released our first one last week. You know, we're doing that thing where we're just getting started, and instead of like, you know, being like organized and recording multiple ones of these and then releasing them on a schedule, we're just going to record one each week and release it the same week.
Yeah, I feel like the record on Monday, release on Wednesday was good if we can.
But here's how my brain works: is as soon as we're done with this, I'm going to start editing it.
That's fine.
Now that I've done it once, and then I'm going to immediately, once I get done with it, I'm going to be like, get it out. It's new. We created a thing.
I like it though on the Wednesday because then you have time to like tomorrow we can make shorts and stuff.
True.
You can turn your pants into jorts.
That's right.
Your
Tuesdays
jeans to jorts.
Tuesdays is when we make our jorts.
Yes, Tuesdays when we make the jorts.
So anyways, bad with names. And what happens in my brain with names is I go, oh, there's Luke. And then my brain goes, is his name Luke though? And I'm like, yes, it is. And then it's like, but is it? And then I'm like, well, now I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What if it's Lee?
What if it's
Langston? What if it's Lothario? And
Luigi.
And usually what's happening as my brain is thinking these things is I'm approaching that person because my brain doesn't go, let me figure out.
So you don't actually say hi to them?
I don't pause to say, let me figure this out.
No, but you just walk up to them and your brain's having a dialogue, and instead of being like, hi, you're just like, you just stare at them for a minute.
No, I don't do that. Do you do that?
I don't know.
Just like.
Do I? No.
No, you don't do
I'm
it.
a hey pal. If I don't know your name, if I don't remember
What's up, brother?
Hey,
It's such a,
hey, friend.
this is true authenticity because this is something I do not like is that I can't remember people's names.
Yeah.
And so I'm so sorry. If I come up to you and I say, I'm not going to say buddy or pal, but if I say, what's up, brother? Or what's up, bro? Like something like that. It's because in my brain, there is a war happening of, is your name Luke or Lee? Or is it Anthony? Or have I never met you before? But that is all me. Mm-hmm. But in my brain, I'm like, they think they're forgettable. And that is not true.
It's not true.
My brain
you are important.
is a forgetter.
You are important.
You is special. You is kind.
You are kind.
Yeah. Episode 2, Genuinely Funny Podcast. We were trying to come up with like cool taglines. And one of the things that we said in the last episode that we think is a really good tagline, Genuinely Funny. We value authenticity and laughter. I'm Ben Patat. This is my wife, Kendall Patat. We are in South Carolina, and we are wild and crazy kids that have kids.
Wild and crazy kids.
And we value as a family authenticity and laughter. We love to be silly, goofy, laugh, but also genuine, not hold back, wear our hearts on our sleeves. And the tagline we came up with last week, knowingly, was laugh until you cry until you laugh.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, you just have a good time and you laugh until your tears are coming down your face. And sometimes life is really hard and you find yourself so beat up and bent out of shape that there's nothing really you can do about it except laugh because of how silly and absurd it is. So, Genuinely Funny, laugh until you cry until you laugh. It's coming on a shirt. Coming your way.
I think we also need to make a shirt that says Stone Cold Jane Austen.
I was proud of that.
That was one of my favorite quips from. Yeah, is that the right use of that word?
Yes.
Quips.
You were talking about quips.
I
didn't say quips, but you were talking about Jane Austen. I said Stone Cold Jane Austen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.
Cool. So last week was off the rails. So is this.
Who can make shirts?
Yeah, we can do that. We can figure that out.
You're smart.
Just cough. And so this week we were like, okay, let's get maybe a little more order to the chaos. But we've already thrown that out.
Yeah.
We have a couple ideas to talk about, but we learned a lot since we released the last episode. We have shot, filmed, recorded, edited, figured out how to put background music in, figured out how to.
I would just like to say that you did 99% of that. I showed up for this part.
You just brought your beautiful personality.
And moral support.
And
I sat with you a few times.
Yes.
And said, you're doing so
As
good.
if I was a terminal patient.
Yeah.
You sat with me in mourning.
Yeah.
Yes, sitting Shiva for me as I was editing this podcast.
You were slowly dying.
Yes.
Yeah. But so good job. That was all you. Well, I kept the kids so that you could do things.
Absolutely. Which is I can't thank you enough for that.
You should do this thing, and I was like, well.
This is what was happening last week.
No.
I was like, okay, you should listen to the podcast and funny things or little clips.
And I did that.
Yes, but what happened because of my personality is I was like, Kendall, can you create a graphic for our logo?
Yes.
And then she was like, yes. Can I borrow your iPad? And I was like, yes. And then before I even gave you the iPad, I was like,
did it.
I did it.
Yeah.
And then I was like, can you like help us find some funny clips and things? And then you're like, absolutely. I support you and I love you and I absolutely will do that.
Yeah.
And then in the meantime, I was like, here's some clips.
Yeah, because I said, let me wait till after we put the kids to bed.
Yeah, I can't do that.
And you were like, no, right now. And I was like, great, go ahead.
Well, that brings me to the Enneagram, which I know you hate.
Witchcraft.
Okay. Everything is witchcraft. Just like you are Bobby Boucher's mama. You were the devil.
Bobby.
What part of the snake are we eating? I love, dude. Bring me back to Adam Sandler because I love that man. But yeah, I'm a 3 on the Enneagram, which is like an achiever. So it's like I find my fulfillment and purpose in life from checking off a box next to a to-do.
That's sad.
Thank you. I've been Ben.
No, we need you. We need achievers in the world because I'm not.
We need people that we can manipulate into doing tasks.
To rely on that will
We
actually...
need people whose sole existence is
deal.
based around how many tasks they've completed in the day.
I am a great task doer and achiever when I have to be.
It's what we call ourselves, task doers.
Task doers.
Yeah.
But I don't naturally enjoy... Like, that's not what gives me fulfillment in life.
Yes. Well,
But
I will let
like,
you in a secret. If you're a 3 listening to this and you also feel this way, it doesn't give us purpose in life. We're drawn to it.
Yeah.
We are fueled by it.
You're fueled by it.
But as soon as
I'm
we
not.
check off that to-do, we just need another hit.
I'm just here for the vibe. You know?
I will write down a to-do just to check it off that I've already done.
What was mine? Like, was it a 9?
I think so.
The peacekeeper.
Yeah.
Except
but what
for
we don't
you.
like, what you hate about the Enneagram, well, you don't like its like origins and things, but
Yeah, the origins
we
are
both
shit.
don't like, it's like, okay, just because you're a such and such on the Enneagram doesn't mean that's...
People use that all the time
as a
to
crutch.
like crutch bad behavior.
Oh, I'm a, what is it? Which one's the mean one?
An 8. The mean one.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
it's like
the challenger.
The challenger. The 8 on the Enneagram is the challenger, not afraid of conflict, not afraid to put you in your place. And I just always am like, oh, those are the mean ones. Yeah.
Playing devil's
But
advocate.
just because you're an 8 on the Enneagram doesn't mean you get to say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit
confrontational because I'm an 8.
Yes. Yeah. And that's just who I am. You have to accept me.
Because you're not an 8, you're an... Bleep.
How dare you?
No.
Anyways, so but yeah, so we got all that done. We learned a lot from editing that and creating some posts. Yes, I'm trying. That's something I'm trying to do, and we'll get into this. This is one of the things we want to talk about, and I'll just introduce it here, and we'll come back to it. The idea of creating more than you consume.
Yeah.
And so one of the again, we'll talk about that a little later, but so I'm trying to learn. How do you record things? How do you video things? That's what we call it, video things. And how do you edit it? How do we use Logic and OBS, all these softwares and things, and maximize? Just because we don't have thousands and thousands of dollars worth of equipment to make this the most professional podcast, but we still can make it good.
Listen, I had this thought though earlier. I have 2 thoughts and only 2. That is, the first one is thank you for all of our friends that actually watched it and listened to it and gave us feedback. It was so encouraging. And I also just love how it did come off of like, if you know us, you know this is just a normal conversation for us. This is not like anything
this
outside.
Isn't us trying to do a podcast and not knowing what we're talking about. This is how our conversations go.
Yeah. So every like family and friends that reached out and like gave us encouragement and like, oh, hey, I can help you with this or just advice. It was so nice.
I was honestly expecting people to be like, I could not listen to 5 minutes of it because y'all are all over the place.
Yeah.
But people were like, oh, I was genuinely like, this one made me laugh out loud or da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I was really encouraged by that.
Yeah.
Because like we filmed it and everything and I was like, we're just doing this. We're putting this out for the sake of creating more than we consume. We're doing it.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of fun doing it. I'm having a lot of fun right now. I even had fun editing it. That takes time, but I did enjoy learning those things.
You crashed real hard afterwards, though.
I did. Mm-hmm. I came down and was like, "Don't talk to me."
It came off that dopamine high, and you're just like, "Everyone, leave me alone."
Sorry, I apologize.
It's okay. I forgive you. So that was the first thing. Second thing is, I was thinking this morning about how when we were growing up, I mean, obviously we had like video cameras because there was a time in our childhood before everything merged into a phone.
Yeah.
It was like you had.
When teachers were like, what do you think you're going to walk around with a calculator in your pocket?
Look at me now, Miss Willis. Look at me now.
Okay, sorry, continue.
Anyway, so we had video cameras and things. Oh, it's on again. So, but for a while we all got into like when we were like in our teens, we were getting into like our creative like exploration. A lot of our friends were. So like I had friends that were doing that through art and just doing weird crap in art. So we'd go take pictures in fields and like they're so cringy now.
So many sepia tone pictures.
Yes,
Yeah.
in black and white. But it was like so fun.
Look at this rundown shack in a field.
And I loved
But
it.
imagine that it was in the
Do you
Old
remember
West.
when we found my camera and I just took pictures of like the fish and bait worm can? It's art.
Art.
Anyway,
This is a comment on
okay,
society.
but I was saying like can
If
of
you really
worms.
think about it.
Yeah, because you're open. Well,
This is on the oppressive nature of capitalism.
but it's not a can.
We're all just a worm
Plastic.
in a plastic cup
And
waiting to be
we're just
stuck on the hook.
dirt
That's
worms.
legit, though. That's
You should write a
legit.
song about that.
That's the
Worms,
legit,
worms
though.
on a hook. No, do it again.
I don't know what I said.
Cool. So, anyways, but my friends, like especially my brother and his friends that we all grew up
Oh, yeah,
together,
make
they would
movies.
make videos and movies all the time. And then me and my friend Jared, because we were like the younger
This is funny stuff,
siblings,
sorry.
we would just be the
Well,
extras.
so now we have computers to
we
make
would
audio.
run around with a boombox.
Then we didn't, yeah.
We would run around with a boombox behind Caleb with the camera.
Yeah.
So we could have our own soundtrack and
then-
like audio.
Plugged in with an extension cord.
Yeah, it was so fun.
And then one time y'all were filming and like you ran out of the extension cord and unplugged the...
Yes.
Yeah.
And one time Jared lit a broom on fire
As
and
you
was
do.
swinging around in night vision, so it looked like he was being attacked by bees. You got to get real creative.
That's very true.
And it was
Nowadays,
really fun.
nowadays kids just use filters.
Yeah.
We would set things on fire.
Yeah. You remember that time you set a field on fire doing the DTS video
Yes,
and then you
yep.
freaked out?
We can talk about that, and we will let the world decide who is. I spoke to somebody about this recently, and they said, "No, you are 100% in the right."
You were correct. We
were okay.
No,
I was at,
you
pause.
No,
wait, so
wait.
for the sake of time, let me just do it quickly, and then. Okay, so, so here's the thing. I was in a hardcore band back in the day, back in the golden age of the scene here in Greenville, and we had recorded an album, and we were doing a music video for one of the songs, and the music video, of course, naturally, because the song was about this, not at all, was about lumberjacks being attacked by alien robots and having to fight them off with
That's
their
how the
rock
song
and
was
roll.
about. That's what y'all did in the video.
I know, that's the joke.
Oh, okay.
The song was called Glory Hallelujah, and it was
It's a
all
good
about
song.
Jesus.
Look it up. Divide the Sea.
But anyways, so we were in this field, and we we were using, like, again, all the old SFX stuff, like
didn't
real life.
Michael
We went
shoot
to
it?
your dad's
Oh, yeah,
warehouse that he
warehouse.
worked at, and just he was like, "Here's this pile of junk y'all can create robots out
Robot.
of," and we did. It was so much fun to do, and then we like used fireworks and like ripped one of the robot's arms off
Yeah.
and had a firework sticking out of the end, and we were in a field, and the sparks from the firework landed on the field and caught fire in
Yes.
this field.
Yes.
Dry field.
Yeah.
Very, very dry.
100%.
Hits the ground, starts spreading.
Mm-hmm.
We had a thick waffle mattress we were using for stunts to land on.
Stunted.
And the spark hits the ground and immediately is like just spreading out in every direction. If you ever seen this, you know what this is. And so like I'm stomping it out, and then another one falls, and it's spreading fast. Fast. And I'm like, grab the waffle mattress, putting myself in harm's way because I love everybody. And more so than that, I did not want a forest fire to start, which it would have.
Smokey the Bear would be after you.
It would have. I can't let him down. He was indoctrinated into my childhood. I cannot let Smokey down. And throw myself literally, like I grabbed this waffle mattress and it's like
You just
like a
belly
flying
flop.
carpet, jump
You
like
belly flop
Aladdin,
onto it.
belly flop onto this ever-growing patch of burning wheat or whatever it is.
It's just grass.
And I'm like, guys, we got to put it out. I'm flipping out. I'm not going to act like I wasn't.
Yeah.
And y'all were like, bro, calm down.
Right. So,
You were there to be supportive as the groupie we were probably dating at the time, but like y'all were like, y'all remember? And for years, to this day, do you remember when you flipped out because like we caught a field on fire and you were like, oh my gosh, we caught a field on fire. I can't believe this. It's going to start a fire. You were so dumb. And I was like, if I hadn't. If I hadn't stepped in.
Okay, no. We did not say you were dumb. But this is a primary example of how we react differently in crisis situations.
I fight.
You go, well, sometimes. But you go, like, your brain always goes to worst case scenario, which is not bad.
It is bad. I live in my brain. It's very bad. But you go to worst case scenario, and then, like, so when you are trying to take action, it's hard for you to breathe for a minute and, like, do something in a calm manner in crisis. Yes.
Whereas I am like, this is not good. Let's get this fire out. Like, I'm not panicking
pause
about.
Right
hold
there.
on, no.
In that moment, did you think this is not good?
Yeah, I'm like, oh, there's fire. We need to put it out.
Okay. Well, let's not.
But my reactions in general, in life, just how we're built, is I'm a lot more mellow in a crisis. Like, I am calm, cool, and collected. That's why I was number one on all of my friends' emergency contact list. Because
you have been there for your friends.
I'm the most chill in a moment of crisis.
Yeah.
And I can think through things to say, okay, panicking is not going to help in this moment.
Keep talking.
So the funny part was not that you put the fire out, but it was your reaction to it was just way over the top. And we didn't know that about each other. That was like one of our first moments of crisis together.
Oh, yeah.
And you just went, went all the way over here so quick. And I'm like, you put the fire out. And it was great. And we're all thankful for it.
Yeah.
It's just the way that it happened is funny.
Well, I reject all of that. And I saved the world from a forest fire.
You did.
Because
Smokey
in South Carolina,
would be so proud of you.
In South Carolina, we just had a fire, like forest fires, which is not a thing usually. And it was started by kids smoking cigarettes.
Yeah.
So
don't smoke.
I can see the news line now, like local band starts forest
playing
fire.
Robots in the woods.
Playing robots in the woods. All right. So what do we want to talk about today? We had a couple things that were written down.
Do we want to are we trying to get serious first, or are we trying to get... do you want to talk about the creativity over consumption first, or do you want to talk about your favorite summer game because we're on the summertime as a 90s kid?
Let's talk about the creating more than you consume.
You don't want to talk about Marco Polo in the pool? Oh
gosh, so intense. So this idea I've been sitting on. This idea I've been sitting on, just sitting with, talking to the Lord about, and just exploring. Like, we live in a social media age. You know, we're creating a podcast right now for people to consume. But like, I was scrolling through Instagram. I do that a lot. I like just I want to see funny things.
It's a dopamine hit.
Yeah, I'm addicted. I have a dopamine addiction. We all do. Don't act like you don't.
I didn't say I didn't. I'm just telling you what it is.
You implied it. But I was just like, this is thinking about what this is. What is this that I'm doing? I'm looking at, I'm consuming this, like just taking in funny meme, inspirational quote, news article that I shouldn't know about, but I do because we live when we do. I think we know, okay, bye, Kendall. I think
do you have the prison mic pillow?
I don't know.
I just want to hug something.
I'm here.
Oh.
We live in an internet age where it's just like, dopamine addiction is a real thing.
Yeah.
Because we just go to Instagram, go to TikTok, go to Facebook. Gosh, Facebook is
it
is Mad Max in Facebook land. Anyways, so like just to get a hit of like, it just triggers something in my brain. Nothing comes from that. I'm not talking scientifically, but like as soon as you exit out of whatever app that is, nothing's left. It's not like that thing carries you through the day of like, I saw this funny meme, and that's just, it's like just a quick hit. And your brain's like, all right, I want more of that, more of that. These apps are literally designed to pull you in and keep you in. That's what your algorithm is reshaped all the time because it's based off what you're looking at and spend most time looking at. So
what's on your algorithm right now?
I don't know. I'd have to look, but probably really weird memes and worship
what's on
stuff.
your camera roll?
Yeah. Yeah. So what I was sitting with is just like, man, dopamine addiction. This is not good. Like, let's, I've turned my phone on no notification. Anyway, it's like, just the dopamine addiction is not a good thing. We know that there's scientific evidence of that, but I was just like, let's go deeper. What is this thing? And I am a big believer in creativity. And that's why we're doing this podcast, why we're doing a lot of things right now that we're starting with songwriting and worship and just putting content out. The whole goal being authenticity and laughter, making someone smile, even if just for a moment. Giving them a dopamine hit to feed their addiction, but just to stop hiding and be out there in the world. And this idea of reality of I just consume. Like, so much of us just consume things. Like, I'll put Netflix on, binge a show, get on Instagram, look at a bunch of memes or look at a bunch of content. And then we do that in the in-between times when we're not working or we're not parenting or we're not cooking, cleaning, whatever it is, like living our normal life. When we have a second to sit still, oftentimes we're like, let's go to Instagram real quick. Yeah. And so, and when you're done with that, there's nothing to show for it. Like, you just entertained yourself for a second. We live in a culture that's based off of entertaining each other and keeping each other distracted. And so this idea of what if my intention and my goal and my focus was, I want to create more things than I consume. I want to create more things than I consume. Meaning, even if that's social media, like I still struggle with that. It's like we're creating content to put on social media, but like if we can make someone laugh, brighten someone's day, encourage them to be themselves, I'm okay with that. Yeah. But when I get done making the post, I don't want to scroll social media for an hour. Yeah. Like, I want to put more things out than I just try and dump in, especially when I'm dumping in and there's nothing to show for it. Nothing lasts. Yeah. So what do you think about that?
Nothing lasts forever.
Friends are friends forever. Okay, go ahead.
What do I think about what?
Just all of that I said for 10 minutes.
Creativity over consumption.
Yes, the idea.
I like it. I love it.
I want some more
of it. No.
Were you listening to anything?
I was listening. I agree. Mm-hmm. I think that one thing I struggle with is not feeling like a creative.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a great avenue.
And especially being married to someone that is a creative, like in a way that our culture accepts as a creative, right?
Yeah.
Through songwriting and just the way that your brain comes up with things is just really fun. Like, even with the editing and things like that. Like, I can't do that.
You can't.
I'm sure, but I'm like.
But that brings us to the uniqueness. It doesn't come
natural. Yeah, that doesn't come.
I want to talk about that, the uniqueness. Remember that.
So for me, that conversation is always, it's not triggering, but it is a little bit of like a,
You feel like an outsider, like, oh, that's not me. I'm not.
Yeah, I struggle with that.
That's a creative. That's for creative people, right. And I'm not.
Yeah. So when like churches and stuff are like, oh, we're having like a creative arts night.
And our church that we go to is very involved with creativity and arts, and I love that.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, do you paint? No. Do you draw? No. I paint walls? But they like, when are you gonna do that? Like, church night, you gonna paint the whole church? Like, but do you write songs? We're having a songwriter night, whatever, So it's like, I don't necessarily, my creativity doesn't fit in those kind of laid out avenues.
Oh yeah.
And so when I was thinking about this conversation of like, what is it, the things that I carry or that like my gifting that God's given me, like putting out, how do I put that out into the world? Because what is it? How do I do it? What does it look like? Yeah. And how do I put it out? And not just, and in different spaces, right? Because I think there also there's like a gifting, and maybe you're not like artsy, but the way that you encourage people or approach people, there's like a creativity to like being kind and loving people well in that way, or whatever I don't know. So it's just, to me, that's something I always think about, because I always feel
for you it comes with a question of like,
to me,
how?
it comes with the question of what,
like, what am I
how.
creating?
Right.
How do I do that? How do I put it out there?
Because I want to be a creative person. I've always loved.
You are a creative person.
Well, thank you. I've always like loved. I love art. I love music. I love all things, and I love just like even this weekend, I help a friend with a pop-up shop, and she makes just the most beautiful. Oh yeah, I got it on. Here we go. For Laurie, love Amy, represent. She makes these beautiful porcelain pieces. It's like literary based. It's such a cool idea, and I'm like, man, that's, first of all, how did you come up with that? And second, I want to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Like, I just love it and appreciate it so much. And I got to help her with a pop-up, and I'm always just like so inspired by other creatives and artists, and I'm like, what is that for me?
I have so many things I want to talk about.
Yeah, so that's my response, is like I just squeaked the wrestle through like, if I don't fit these specific avenues of what we culturally think as.
Let's talk about it. Yes.
Let's go.
Keep going. Finish your thought. You don't fit these specific
disrespect.
You don't fit in this box of creativity that our mainstream is like, this is what creativity is. Yes, let's talk about it.
Okay. Yes. Well, hold on, let me finish my thought. Because you're also like, oh, you're so creative in like home decor.
You are.
And things. And I don't think that way.
What?
But I don't think I am.
Follow Kendall on Instagram and you'll see how creative she is.
It feels like an imposter syndrome.
Oh, for sure.
Imposter. What did I tell you yesterday about imposter syndrome? Because it was good.
You said, okay, so I was leading worship at church yesterday, and like we have two services, and the first service is when Kendall and them come, and I was just like in my head, like for the set, and still worshiping. Everything went fine, but I just told her, I was like super in my head, and you were like, I wish I could look it up, but it's like, that's just your imposter syndrome, which is really just impasta syndrome. So you just eat it and then poop it out and pass it out and get rid of it and move on.
Yeah.
And somehow, and then the second service was one top 3 most powerful, amazing times of worship. We worshiped for like 2 hours during that service.
It was
pasta. Great. Yes, but so okay, I have so many things to talk about, because this is very closely related to worship, which is one of my favorite topics. Again, we love Jesus, and that's who we are, so it comes out of us. And I love the concept, the topic of worship, and creativity is so tied to me to worship, because we are made in the image. We are made by our Creator in the image of our Creator to create. Mm-hmm. That's just my conviction. Sure. And there's plenty of people who think like you, of like, the imposter comes out and is like, you're not a creative. Mm-hmm. You can't paint. You can't dance. You can't sing. Like, you're not a creative. It's like, I'm not saying you can't. I'm just saying in general. Because you can do all those things. You're a good dancer. We have great awkward dances. But we are created to create. And that can look like, and we put a box around what creatives look like. And we put a box around what creativity looks like, when we absolutely shouldn't. Like, in fact, putting the box around it is like the antithesis of creativity. Mm-hmm. Like, throw the box away, blow it up, throw out the rule book, and whatever it is that you're doing, you can do it with creativity. And that parallels completely with worship. Yeah. Like, whatever it is that you are doing it to the glory of God, it is an act of worship. Yeah. Whether that is musically worshiping and singing a song of praise to God, or cleaning a toilet while you are focused on the Lord and working hard as if unto the Lord. Yeah. Worship. Worship. Creativity and that's such a close thing. And as a worshiper, we're all worshipers. The question is, what are we worshiping? Yeah. So this like we're all like either influenced. This is also goes to the idea of creating more than you consume. We're either influencing or being influenced. So the question is, are we intentionally influencing, or are we unintentionally being influenced?
Yeah.
Or intentionally being influenced. There's all this realm and spectrum of things. But I love that. Like with creativity, we got to throw the rule book out, because that in and of itself, getting rid of the rules and getting rid of the stereotypes of what it looks like in and of itself is an act of creativity.
Yeah.
You are fantastic at interior design.
Thank you.
I am a realtor, and I can't think interior design wise. I need you. I lean on you for that a lot.
Let me tell you something.
I'll tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
Let me tell you something.
Really grinds my gears.
Okay.
No, I had this thought, and I was fleshing it out with my friend Megan over Marco Polo this morning. Okay, so we're millennials. Millennial gray is like a thing. Was, but thank the Lord.
Yeah, Realtor
Kick
Talk.
it to the curb.
Realtor Talk. It used to be beige and taupe. Now every
Believable
wall is
buff.
Yes. Now every wall is
Agreeable gray.
Agreeable
gray by
AKA
Sherwin
millennial
Williams.
gray.
Yes.
But now we are rejecting that.
Yes, which I love. Okay, so here's the thing. You know this. You don't. Maybe you know this. My dad was a contractor on the side, a paint contractor on the side growing up. He did textiles and then paint contracting. So that's how I paid my way through college, was like working with him. So I got good at painting houses, like big, like rooms. So, anyways, my parents thankfully were always great about letting me paint my room whatever color I wanted to. So it went from like beige to, I got inspired by Meet the Fockers. You remember that movie? They had a room that was like coral.
His parents' house and like the keys was like coral and bright green.
Yeah, so I painted my room coral and the trim teal.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, sure, just paint it back when you're done.
Yeah.
And so
your mom was allowed for your creativity to come through.
Right.
Yeah. Which is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, but so
it looked like a Mexican restaurant.
Sure did.
Like it was like, need a margarita and some nachos.
100%. 100%. 100%.
I don't like that.
Anyways, back to my thought.
100%.
Something I've been mulling over about this is like, because there is this resurgence of actual beautiful design. Because it like went for a while where everything went super utilitarian, super modern, super sleek, like white, blank, boring BS to me. Yeah. I mean, some people love that. I don't love it. But even in architecture, like you think the way like houses look now, cookie cutter, builder grade garbage. Look at look at your downtowns. Like there's no design. There's like, think of like cathedrals and old
we've lost the artistic touch in society in many areas.
Correct.
And that's a big one.
That's
I mean, like these are the buildings
into,
we walk in and out of every day, and everything's just modern now. And why make a doorknob ornate and beautiful when we can just mass produce it?
Because it's cheaper and it's trash, and then they'll buy more because it's going to break in a year. Yeah. So capitalism. So anyways, that's overflowed into our homes. So I've had this thought, like constantly thinking of like the Lord's Prayer when Jesus says like on earth as it is in heaven. It's something I pray often, like in our family. It's like in our family as in heaven, in our marriage as in heaven, in our parenting as in heaven, in our home as in heaven. And I'm like, I think that's creeping into the way the Lord is like, I'm walking through as we're redoing our house, is how do I mirror heaven in our home through color and design? Because I don't know if you've like heard people that had like near death experience and stuff. They always talk about these brilliant colors in heaven. I know. But think about it. It's even in the Bible, right? They talk about like these brilliant colors of like the jewels and all that stuff. And then people say that it's like colors we can't even like fathom with our earthly eyes. And I think that's so cool. So it's like, how do I mirror that in our house using color and doing that with the Lord of like, how do I want people to feel when they walk in our home, or like, and how do I want to feel when I'm in this room? So I don't just look at and see a stark white wall, because white pops so much more off of color.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to, so it's a lot. I get it. We can edit this down, but I'm just saying like that I'm telling you, that's my current bent on the creating versus consuming is like I can sit there and scroll through Instagram and all these like design influencers that are so great at what they do in their niche of like design or whatever, but I'm like, what's mine and how am I walking through it with God and bringing it into my house?
That's good. Right there.
Yeah.
Well, so like when it comes to social media or, it's whatever it is, reading a book, reading a book is good, beautiful. You're celebrating someone else's creativity right there. So there is that aspect to it, even with social media of, I follow a lot of artists and all sorts of different mediums of art and things, and I can look at that and celebrate their creativity, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
But if all I do is just consume that, well, an easy thing to do is like the comparison trap of I can't do that.
Yes.
Or and I struggle with that as a songwriter is like if I listen to a good song, it makes me want to go write a song.
Yeah.
But then the perfectionist in my brain goes, if I can't make a song that's worthwhile, then what's the point of making a song? If I can't record it and it sound professional, sound good enough to release and like share with people, what's the point of creating it? And here is something that I struggle with, but I've sat with the Lord on a lot. This idea of creative communion.
Yeah.
And it's actually not the thing that is created, not the product.
It's the process.
That is most important. It's the process.
Yeah.
So the act of creating in and of itself is like innately ingrained in who we are as humans. And as we're creating, not saying it won't ever be stressful or anything like that, but the act of creating, the Lord wants to meet us in and actually participate in that process of creating as an act of worship. Again, whether it be visually through painting or dance or musically or creative, like teaching kids and doing that in a way that is an expression of who you are as a unique individual, or being an executive in a corporate like company. You can do that and be yourself, who you are uniquely made to be, and be creative in that and do that unto the Lord, and it's an act of worship. So and what I've pondered this, I'm still sitting with this, is like the product that's made, the song that's finished and released, the painting that is finished, framed, and hung, the project at the corporate company that is vision executed and done, like that is not unimportant. Like that is the fruit of the creativity. But I think that the Lord at least values the process, especially when we're intentional in that process, values the process and uses the process just as much for us as creatives as the thing that is created, as the product. You need some help here? Let's bring you back around. I turned too far.
I turned too far.
And that brings me to this idea that I think is maybe the most beautiful thing of it all.
I'm trying to face you. My neck hurts.
Okay, gotcha. Which is the beauty of creativity is it's the external expression of a person that only they can give.
Yeah.
Like, so if you're watching this and you're like, I'm not a creative, I'm with Kendall, I'm not a creative, I don't think about it that way. You are. Stop saying that. Words have power. You are creative. And the question is not, am I or am I not, but is, how am I? How am I creative? What is the way? And this is what brought us to the podcast. What is the thing that we carry, that I carry, that no one else does? Or maybe plenty of other people do. You might be like a painter. You might be a dancer. Plenty of dancers in the world. But no one can move your body like you move your body. I feel like that's a pop song. Yeah, that's a bad example.
Your body.
Like nobody can paint the picture like you can paint the picture. And you might be the best painter in the world or the worst painter in the world.
But
Who cares?
Uniquely you.
It's uniquely you.
Yeah.
There's like, and that is maybe the most beautiful thing about it. Like, if we're just consuming, like the creativity that we have in us, is never going to come out.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, and what the world needs is more creativity.
Yeah, well, just people to...
And that goes back to what we were talking about, like the blandness of plenty of design, and like the modern design is so sleek and
again,
empty.
if you love that,
It's totally
and it
fine.
speaks to your heart, I
like
love that
modern.
for you.
Yeah,
Ben loves modern stuff.
I like modern homes. I wouldn't want to live in one. I like living in a weird, crazy, kooky house like we have that's filled with granny core stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
I have a good segue.
Okay. Well, are we done?
Maybe. But listen. Listen to my segue. Okay, because I told you that... Well, first of all, we're going to paint
Before you
this room.
segue... Okay, go ahead. You segue.
I'll segue, and then you can circle back.
Okay, I want to.
We're going to paint this room eventually, so, like, just hang in there. Second of all...
We know that that's why you're watching
the
room.
We're going to... I told you I'm going to paint our bedroom that pink color, right?
All of it. Color drench it.
I'm going to color drench our bedroom pink.
Can't wait for you. I'm going to come home. I'm going to come back, and you're going to be midway through it.
Yeah, and then you're going to jump in because your OCD can't allow you to not.
Correct.
And I'll be like, great, I'll save the ceiling for you. So have you heard about that whole, for women, when they start liking pink again, it's a sign of healing?
No.
Yeah, so it's this concept in therapy.
Like a full circle, like you're as a little girl, everything's pink, you love pink. Then you like grow up and you're like, oh, I don't like pink anymore.
Well,
and then it's like a full circle of like, no, I do like pink.
Yeah, so it's this concept where especially when you walk through hurt or abuse or things like that, there's like your mind tends to want to make you not be seen. So like if you're used to wearing like colors or like things that make you stand out, you tend to go like beige, you tend to wear neutrals or like kind of want to like fade into the background, right? Especially like it's apparently, could be wrong, but from what I've read and listened to, it's very common with like abuse victims. But it's also common just like in life, is especially for women, as we kind of go through these cycles of just being hurt by relationships, by whatever.
Just existing.
Yeah. And so there's this concept of, as you are healing and like on the inside and kind of embracing again like your femininity, things like that, you're drawn back towards pink, florals, things like that kind of pull, that are just like overtly feminine.
And which probably comes from just like the innate desire. Like, I mean, it's like, it might not be pink, maybe it's another color.
Sure.
But
something that maybe you loved or just made you feel feminine, and then you pushed it out for a while to like, for whatever reason, you know? So anyways, I think it's cool how we have been in a season coming out of a season of like pretty intense, like church hurt, especially. I mean,
just healing in general.
Just healing in general for a lot of life things, but like the highlight, I guess, like...
Hey, we are 100% healed, and there are no problems in our life now.
No, we are actively always healing until we get to heaven. But coming out of this like intense season of like church hurt and change after change after change after change after change, and then I'm like, I want to put pink in my house. And not just in our small bathroom. I'm going to paint like our bedroom, which is pretty big. They knocked out 2 bedrooms to make one pink. Like, I just want to drench my life in it. And I've always been more of a tomboy. I've had these like phases of super girly girl wearing like frilly socks to like, I have a big brother and I want to pee off the back deck like he does, and I'm mad that
Kendall
I can't.
asked
did.
Real quick ADD story. Kendall asked, how do we say this so that the Instagrammed or whatever. Kendall asked Santa, sat on his lap one time, and then asked Santa for Christmas for a weenie so that she could pee off of the back porch.
Yeah, this was last year. No, I'm just kidding. When I was little.
So continuing.
Anyway, then I was in sports, super tomboy, and then I had...
So you're saying you've never been like the girl that likes pink.
Right. Yeah. Well, and then I went in phases where I loved feminine stuff, color, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But it was always kind of this war of like, oh, that's too much. That's too girly.
Yeah. So what you're talking about is like, overall is like this part of us as we grow up, we stuff down so much.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm a very big guy.
Yeah.
And sometimes I can get really conscious of that.
Yeah.
Where it's like, I'm not trying to stand out. I don't want to stand out.
But I love that you do. I can always find you in a crowd.
That is helpful. But like like talking about the conversation of color, that's something that's like, I love the color yellow like this makes me happy. I don't know if that's a scientific thing or it's just I like yellow. And so it's like, sometimes I like to wear or see or paint or pick something that's bright yellow.
Yeah.
Because like our fridge is bright yellow because every time I walk in the room, even if it's subconsciously, I look at it and it just makes me a little happy.
Yeah.
But there's all those things like you can easily think, oh, bright yellow is bright. Like, tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, bottle that up. Creativity is the same way. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I want to do this thing. And it's like, nope, like, calm down a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, you're an adult now. Like, bottle that up like the rest of us. Tamp it down. You need to wear taupe and gray. You need to wear neutral colors. You need to paint that wall
you wear
an appropriate color. Yeah. And again, that's that box that we put creativity in, that we put, like, I mean, like, adulting is like, oh, you realize it. When you become aware of it, there's all these boxes and compartmentalization that we do of like, all right, in this topic, this is the way that it's normally done, so we should do it this way. And in reality, like, there's law and order, there's morality, right? But we tamp down our uniqueness.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the overall thing that we're talking about. Don't tamp down your uniqueness. Be you.
Don't do it.
You're you. What was it you said on your one reel when it was like how to decorate your house? And
do what you want.
Do what you want. It's your house.
It's your house.
It's your house. So do what you want.
What you want.
Like that's the idea. Is like whatever it is that is in you that's like, oh, I would love to do this, and then your brain says, but
no.
Like,
shut up.
Stop right there.
Shut your brain up.
Again, this is not an all-encompassing, like, I really want to do heroin, but
right.
don't do, like, again, there's helpful things, that there's hurtful things, but when it comes to expressing yourself and creativity, like, it's okay to throw the rule book out some.
Yeah. There are no rules.
You don't want to put acid on your walls. It'd probably eat the walls.
Yeah.
But you're going to paint the walls. So, what paint color should we use? Whatever you want. What? It's your house.
Name 3 animals. Go.
Chocolate.
Chocolate animals. Chocolate graham crackers.
Gazelle. Giraffe.
Gazelle.
Armadillo.
Gazelle.
You named 4 sandwiches.
Ham sandwich, turkey sandwich, tuna sandwich, peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
That was really good.
Entirely too much tuna fish.
Yeah.
Because one of the things you said you want to talk about, maybe we might need to get in the next episode, is like the church hurt conversation.
We'll do that another time.
But I'm just telling you, it's a cool sign when God gives you these little like glimpses and moments of, because sometimes in your healing you feel like it's like 5 steps forward, 3 steps back,
or like 3. It feels like
3 steps.
It feels
forward,
like maybe
5
1 step
back.
forward and then 7 steps back. Yeah.
But when you see those little glimpses of like that, like, okay, I'm painting our room pink. It sounds so minuscule, but it's actually a really big deal.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
Adulting is hard. Life is hard.
Stunted.
And this is another part of the creating more than you consume. If your focus is on the creating and not on the consuming, like, you're going to naturally like stop that comparison a lot more. Yeah. And our society is like, and it's like, I'm not trying to say like deep state conspiracy. I'm just saying like the world that we live in is like there's a way that we do things.
That's real.
Yeah, it's okay. Yes, this is very real. Not going into conspiracy land today, but like I lost my thought. But it's like the
box.
Yeah, it's like fit into a box. It's just easier. Just go with the flow of what normal everyday people are doing. And when we're consuming more than we're creating, like we are being influenced instead of influencing. And then our life was like, oh, well, we need to do agreeable grade because that's what everybody does. And that will help. That'll help resale value. It'll be easier. It's like a blank slate. I mean, I'm a realtor. It's a blank slate. You can paint over it whatever you'd like. But people don't, because it's like, well, what if we move and then we, da-da-da. It's like we think about these things because, again, the consuming thing, we see what everyone else is doing across a broad spectrum of topics, ideas, and then unintentionally, subconsciously, we go, when it's time for us to act in one of those those avenues, like painting, just because we're using that example, we go, okay, well, here's what I see everybody else doing. Like when it comes to the clothes that we buy and wear, here's what I see everybody else doing.
Yeah.
When it comes to talking to our kids about this subject, I'm gonna bless you. I'm gonna bless you. When it comes to talking to our kids about this subject,
There it is.
this is the way that I see everybody else do it.
Yeah.
So like what's happening is we're getting a worldview that is molded by what we are taking in.
Yeah.
Versus putting out our own. Now, there's good consumption. I'm not saying consumption's bad. Like when we go to the Word and that becomes the filter. That was a big thing for like our kids in many avenues, but like with our oldest, like us talking about how do we have the birds and bees talk. And I've done youth ministry, so that's something that's like that. Those formative ages, it's like, here's the thing: you're gonna be influenced, or you're going to influence or be influenced. So how can we create a worldview like in our kids to where they can think for themselves instead of just being taught to think by the world? How do we create a filter? What is the foundation that they're gonna base their beliefs off of? And it's the same for this topic of creativity.
That'll preach, Pastor.
Hallelujah. I need three points that start with the same letter.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's a thing. Like, you're going to filter and that, like, specifically with the birds and bees talk, I brought that up because it's like when we encounter that, or like when a kid encounters that, they are going to have a foundation, whether they have intentionally laid that or not, that they filter that through.
Yeah.
And so how do we create a really healthy foundation, like through the Word, so that when something comes our way to consume or to take in, are we going to let that influence us, or have we already been influenced to say, no, that's actually not it?
Yeah.
Yeah. One last thing, and then we'll do something else.
Yes, sir.
On that topic, creating more than we consume. There's this idea, I love it. It's so good. Take this, steal it. I stole it from a pastor a long time ago. Just listened to a podcast and he said this, and I was like, that's so, so good. In taking things in hearing anything that we hear, listening to a clip, listening to a newsreel, listening to a sermon. Good grief. We need to do this. The 3 R's, again, there's the pastor. Everything starts with the same letter. Do you know what I'm going to say?
Raucous, rhinocerize, reaching for ranch.
Ooh, reaching for ranch. Rhinocerize is exercise for rhinoceroses. Exercise.
The
Like a group of why we talked about rhinoceros last week. Yeah, they're doing exercise that's called rhinocerize. Anyway, so the 3 R's: reject, receive, or redeem. And so it's a good thing for creativity. Like, you look at a piece of art and you can look at that and be like, nah, I don't want anything to do with that. That's obviously, there's some issues there.
Some are spooky.
Yeah, there is. I mean,
Spooky.
We live with free will in a world that's fallen. Like, there's plenty that's like, nope, reject that, all out. Or opposite of that, this is great, good and holy, beautiful, inspiring to me, receive it. Like, just take it as it is and receive it. And then the third thing is redeem. This thing is beautiful, inspiring, challenging me, but also there's aspects about it that I don't like or not good. And so I say, well, let me take this and not that. How can this be shifted or interpreted for me, just in the way that I'm taking it in a way that is redeeming and not just rejecting. Sure. So it's like something that has good in it, but is not implicitly and wholly good, can still be enjoyed and appreciated. Which also kind of goes back to that foundation. We're going to look at something and then decide whether we should reject it, redeem it, or receive it based on the foundation that we have, that of who am I, what do I believe, and what do I believe about that thing. Yeah. That was a deep talk.
That was deep. We can do it. We can go deep. What's the most unhinged thing that happened to you this week? Or, like, that made you laugh really hard? Or, like, what? What?
The most unhinged thing that happened to me this week, I don't know. I got to think about that. Probably something with our kids. When our kids brush their teeth, even it's like they put toothpaste all over their hand and rub it on the mirror. And
Oh yeah, it's everywhere.
I walked past the bathroom and Dylan was like, "If this is the toothpaste." Shout out, by the way, talking about creativity. This was made by our Abe Webb. Who is the son of our good friends Dan and Megan. Shout out. They're down in Florida, and he made this by hand. I'm not sure what type of wood it is, but he uses really good wood.
He picked it out, and he made it.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah. And how old is he now? He's a teenager.
Yeah.
The guy looks like a grown adult now. Remember when he was born? Yeah. Nuts. But like, it's just an expression of creativity. He's like, I want to make a spoon, and he's been making it for several years now, and we've gotten a couple, and that's just beautiful. Look at that.
Look at that. It works well too on the meats.
The meats?
Because for the spatula
cooking.
for cooking.
Yes.
Yes, get your mind out of the gutter.
No, I wasn't thinking about. Okay. Unhinged. What was yours?
Well, Dylan kept finding snakes this week in our yard. Yeah. We found a worm snake.
And then just like a brown snake. What was it?
Duquesne snake. What is it? Say it. Look it up.
I don't know. I can't. My phone's right there.
Duquesne.
Yeah, no. It's a brown snake. A non-venomous snake.
Yeah.
Small, baby.
But still.
And he's just like, grab.
We got to have a conversation
snake, grab. And we're like,
can't just grab
pause,
snakes.
Bubba. Yeah, we have copperheads in our area. We have, that's really the main one. There's up in the mountains, there's not timber.
Eastern.
Yeah, eastern diamondback rattlesnakes.
Yeah.
But like, yeah.
Listen, I had a friend that had a diamondback on her property this week.
So we were trying to teach him. We're trying to lay the foundation.
Yeah.
Dylan, you see a snake, do not grab. Because he's like, grab.
Yeah.
And we're like, we have to look at it first, bud. I'm not opposed to you grabbing snakes. I love that you love snakes. I grew up on Steve Irwin.
He said.
R.I.P.
I know. Well, we had the trifecta, man. We had Steve Irwin.
Okay, pause. Go back to Dylan. Unhinged.
Well, let me finish my thought. We had Steve Irwin.
We had
Mr. Fred Rogers. And then we had Bob Ross.
Yeah. Richard Simmons. Just positivity. Just positivity.
But they taught us to love creativity.
Yeah.
I brought it back.
Yep.
Well, we have chickens, so we can't have snakes in the yard because they'll eat the eggs. Anyways, that was crazy. I think my most unhinged moment was what I told you about on Saturday when that lady was like, do you have a book about this thing?
Oh, yeah. Kendall was helping with the pop-up.
Yeah.
And
the premise is...
You don't have to get too detailed. But like,
the pop-up is like, it's kind of like her stuff is
creating jewelry based
literary
off...
based.
Yeah, literary.
And this lady asked me, she's like, do you have a book called F Trump?
Yeah.
And I was like, no, I haven't heard of that one, but maybe you could write it. And then
I think it sounds like she definitely could write that book.
She could. That was her expression of creativity.
So like she comes up to a table that is art. It is art because it's jewelry that's been made by someone lovingly, and it's based off of art because it's like she does a lot with like literary art. And this person just wanted to know if there's a way that I can express my hatred for Trump.
She sure did.
Through your art.
Yeah.
It is like, no, that's not.
I was like, well, I guess you could spell it out with the letter tiles.
Yes.
So.
Yeah.
And
why stop there? Buy all the letter tiles.
Yeah,
and then express yourself.
Yeah,
yeah.
She'd make that would be really good for my friend. It'd be a very expensive necklace.
Exactly.
Anyways, and then she just left. So that was probably the most like okay.
Can we talk about that though? Like, there's so much anger in the world.
Oh.
And
we're just really on a deep kick today.
It's okay. It's fine.
Yeah.
Again, authenticity. But like, there's so much anger in the world that it's like. That becomes the foundation that you view things
right.
through.
What a sad perspective that you come into this creative.
It's a very real thing
of like all these like because it wasn't just us there. Like there were several vendors and it just had all these beautiful like handmade pieces of things.
Each table like a different avenue of expression.
Yes, and then you come in and your
Angry.
goal is I'm mad on this beautiful Saturday
about something that has nothing to do with any of this.
There's the Greek festival. There's art everywhere. It's just a beautiful day, and your mindset is so against this like person or this thing,
or just a thing, yeah.
And it just clouds.
Not to get political, just like whatever you want to feel about Trump, awesome. But just
your
like
day with pessimism.
To approach a table of of artistic expression.
Yeah.
And instead of being like, what is this? Tell me about it. Talk to me about it. You're like, do you have something that expresses my anger?
Yeah, because I'm mad.
Yeah. It's like, that's obviously a foundation that is boiled deep down. It could have just been a moment there, but
She's healing.
we all do though.
Yeah.
So, and that's a thing for creativity. Like, I can easily, and I do this towards myself as a person, but also as the creative things that I've created, like hyper critical of everything.
Sure. That's well, because
that's another
ultimately
topic. We
that's
can talk
also
about
because
that
you're
one.
hypercritical of yourself, and then it's an
Incredibly.
overflow
Incredibly.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not good at loving myself.
I know, but I love you so much.
I think I'm pretty good at loving people. I'm good at extending the grace of the Lord to people.
Oh yeah, but it's hardest to do it to yourself.
I can't.
Yeah.
I can.
You
I
can.
don't.
Words matter. You can.
I can. I just don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting real. So hypercritical of myself. Hyper aware. Way too aware of myself. In my head all the time. Spiraling.
I feel like you're getting better though.
I'm trying. I'm really
I know.
trying.
Love you.
Close your eyes. I have a game.
I don't trust you. I know. Let me tell you why.
You think I was going to hit you?
Yeah.
No.
No. Let me tell you, speaking of sunflowers, because I have this one in my hand. Do you remember when we went to the Van Gogh exhibit at the Biltmore where it was like the
interactive, all the walls and stuff?
yeah.
That was really cool.
And so at the end
I
of
was
it,
really mad at Trump that day, so I wanted them to give me, did Van Gogh paint a painting called F Trump? Because if he didn't, I'm not interested.
I'm not interested. So at the end of the like you walk around this big room and it's just paintings everywhere, like digital,
literally, all the walls are
ceiling
it's
wall.
beautiful. If you ever see one of those, I forget what they're called. But
It came to
there's
Greenville.
like Da Vinci, Monet, Van Gogh, all sorts of different
So
exhibits.
we
They
saw
do it
them
at the Biltmore a lot, which we love to go to.
So at the end of it, there's a room because Van Gogh painted sunflowers, like one of his big famous pieces,
It's just
or
filled
the sunflowers.
and there's like mirrors, and it makes it look like an eternity of
that's
sunflowers.
like floor to ceiling sunflowers, and then mirrors, so they're reflecting everywhere. It's just really cool. And I love sunflowers. It's like what I carried in my wedding bouquet.
You love
and
them?
so Ben was trying to be
can't remember what I
so
did.
sweet.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my gosh, because you went in there before me, because I was piddling and taking my time, like lollygagging through it. And you're like, okay, close your eyes. And you ran me straight into a wall. You smacked me like full on nose into a wall.
Yeah.
And then you're like, look at this beautiful room. And I'm like, I think my nose is bleeding. Yeah, it was like,
Okay,
so no,
here's what
I don't
happened.
trust you. I'm not closing my eyes.
No, I'm not gonna hurt you, and I didn't mean to hurt you then. We were in the exhibit, and off to the side was where this room was, and like I just saw it first before you saw it, and I was like, oh, Kendall's gonna love this. It's so pure. I was just like, oh, she's gonna love this, and I was like, I came running out, and I was like, Kendall, close your eyes. Like, because I wanted to bring you into it.
Yeah,
and
it was
then
so sweet.
I'll be like, open your eyes, and you're just like,
were so sweet.
Sunflowers. And yes, and what happened was I was so excited. And I was taking you by the hand, walking you through, and just fully walked you
Smacked me
into a wall.
Face first into a wall.
Yeah. So romantic.
So romantic.
Love it.
So no, I'm not closing my eyes.
No, I need you to close your eyes.
What's the game?
This is the word association game.
Okay.
I feel like I want to catch you off guard with your eyes closed.
Okay.
Close your eyes. Really.
Okay.
Trust me.
Nope. I
Do you
can't.
trust
I
me?
feel like you're in my space.
I'm not. Okay. I'm not.
Okay,
I was.
okay.
I'm not. Go ahead. Close your eyes.
No.
I'm going to close my eyes and trust you.
close your game.
You will slap
You
me.
shouldn't trust
I
me.
don't. I shouldn't. Okay. Close your eyes.
Okay.
Word association.
Yep.
Yogurt.
Sauce.
That's a thing. Yogurt sauce is like a Mediterranean restaurant.
It's tzatziki sauce. It has yogurt in it.
Tzatziki.
Tzatziki is
Eat
yogurt
tzatziki.
and dill.
It's a me at tzatziki.
I'm a tzatziki man.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
Close your eyes.
Words.
Word association. Ukulele.
Rainbow.
Oh. Taco Bell.
Farts. Oh.
Yeah. All right, my turn. Go.
Okay.
I'm bad at this.
All right. Power.
Rangers.
Woo. Okay. Toes.
Oh, jam.
Ew.
Pickled.
Brine.
Pickled brine.
Pickle brine. You gotta make a brine to have pickles. Prickles.
Prackles. I love pickles. You love bread and butter pickles, and that's wrong.
I like sweet pickles. So
I'm weird about sweet things in general. I get that, but like dill over bread and butter.
I can't have them right
day
now though because
long.
we're off sugar.
Who's we?
It's my birthday. That's my birthday gift.
It's Kendall's birthday this week. We didn't even talk about that.
It's my birthday on Thursday.
She's gonna be 48.
No, one day.
Yeah.
Not this day.
We want to be old, fit people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for my birthday, I said I'm giving up sugar.
That sounds terrible.
It does. I want
Hey,
a donut.
I don't have to get you a cake.
I want a donut. I don't like.
Donuts have sugar in them.
I know. Not on your birthday.
Not on your birthday. Kendall last night, because she started this morning apparently, she said, and I quote, "Give me M&Ms.
Give me M&Ms.
Give me M&Ms." Like that.
Yeah.
Like meaning, will you go to the gas station and get me some M&Ms? You don't give me some M&Ms?
And you did, and you got yourself
And I
some.
said, I don't want to leave. And then she was like, it's my birthday, which is not. But Kendall is a big proponent of birthday weeks.
Yeah, celebrate your life the whole week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Celebrate your life 1 week.
Okay.
This is a long one.
Where are we at?
Like an hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
We should probably wrap it up.
We should wrap it up. Thoughts. Like, talking about creativity, I want to encourage you that you have creativity in you. You have an avenue of creativity available to you. And we're not going to experience your creativity if you don't act on it.
Yeah.
And only you can create.
Prevent a forest fire.
Only I can prevent a forest fire by jumping onto a burning field while my friends make fun of me. But only you can release your creative expression. Only you can do it. And the world needs more beauty in it. The world needs more creatives, and just everybody to realize that they are unique and they have a unique voice and a unique expression, and we just need more beauty. Mm-hmm. Beauty can save the world. Something that we've talked about at our church a good bit, and it's a deep topic.
And that Russian guy's
yeah,
quote.
That's another conversation. But it's just like, I want to encourage you and challenge you: be authentic, laugh, express yourself, be creative. So my challenge to you, your homework is do something that maybe takes you out of your comfort zone this week, and do something super creative. Next time that you grab your phone and you're like, let me look at Instagram or something like that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. Do something different. Do something creative. Open your notes app and write a poem. It doesn't have to be the best poem. It doesn't have to be a serious poem. It doesn't have to rhyme. Throw it out.
I got one more story I want to tell.
Okay.
You can end it here. But I was thinking about because you were
All right,
talking.
cut and then go.
Cut, because you were thinking about. You're talking about creativity, and you know what I thought about the other day. I think about this often is when our friend was in that Sweeney Todd play.
Yes.
Speaking of creativity, so
they was at Furman, right?
Yeah,
Furman. Went to Furman University. They did Sweeney Todd as a play. He was in the play.
We went to support our friend.
Yep.
And then
to the tale of Sweeney Todd.
Yes. So at the beginning,
the something eyes were on.
all the like ghosty people,
just the creepy
street
youths of London,
the creepy street youths of London,
the ragamuffins and
They
scoundrels.
come down the aisles.
They came out into the audience.
Yeah,
Kendall's
they come from the back.
We're sitting like this. I'm sitting on Kendall's right.
Here's
Kendall's
the
on
aisle.
The edge of the aisle.
Yes,
and
because I always have to pee. That's why I gotta sit on the end.
And one of the street scoundrels, who's all like, Mary Poppins, like chimney sweep, dirt on their face and all this old clothes.
But they're dancing.
But they're just
like this. Tell the tale of Sweeney Todd.
And
that's what they did.
I'm gonna put that on the internet out of context. It's gonna be so good. And then they came up to you, and I'm gonna do it. You don't have to tell them. I'm gonna creatively enact it.
I still don't like it.
Still hates it. Every time I do it, she's like, "Please stop." And they like come up to her on the other side, and they're like,
"It's the head,"
like that, like just being all creepy and weird. And Kendall goes, and I'm dying laughing. And she goes, no, thank you. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. Like, oh, I'll pass.
I was trying to be nice because it was a performance, but like, get out of my face.
Just like,
I leaned so
thanks.
far this way into Ben.
I did not order that. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
So sometimes I'll just be like,
It's like it's like cotton balls.
you touched a cotton ball.
It gives me the cotton ball heebie-jeebies. That's what it does.
The BBGBs.
Because I don't like.
I love that band.
Oh, the jeebies. Staying alive.
That wasn't that. But yeah. So, thank y'all for watching. If you watched all the way to this point, comment.
Happy birthday.
Yes, happy birthday to Kendall. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Kendall. Happy birthday to you.
That's jazz, baby. I loved it. Thank you.
You're so welcome. That's all I got you for your birthday.
Amazing. I already bought my birthday present. Thanks. Bye. Turn it off.
Turn it off. I gotta pee so bad. So bad.
Turn it off. Turn it off. Turn it off. It's my birthday. It's gonna be my birthday. I'm gonna be 37 on my birthday. What? That's what your bones do. They don't even creak. Your bones just fart. That's how old you are. My bones. My bones.
Careful, my bones.
I'm made of cartilage. Play me a song, piano man.
Piano man.
But I'll sing this song with a harmonica instead.
For a song called The Piano Man, the harmonica player will not shut up. Big gulp coming. Very hot, but now it's not. My baby tongue can drink a lot. Weird.
Barbara Ann, take my hand. Barbara Ann, you got me rocking and a rolling, rocking and a rhythm. Barbara Ann,
Barbara. Went to a dance, looking for a man.
Found Barbara Ann, said, "Thought I'd take a chance, Barbara Ann." You got me rocking and a rolling, rocking and a reeling, Barbara. Raindrops on roses.
And petals and thistles.
Nope. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. Brown paper packages tied up with string.
These are a few of my favorite
things. When the dog bites, when the beer stings, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel